Good morning, everybody. How are you today? It is Thursday, the 28th of January, Thinking Thursday, and my name is Karen. I'm here with Get Moving. Get Moving is here to help people with mobility problems, mobility issues, to get some good solid exercise. So if you fall into that category, stay tuned, I guess. So if you have a disability of some kind, if you have a chronic medical condition, anything that stops you from moving as well as you hope, we can help you. Thinking Thursday is all about helping you move, but also getting our brains behind what we're doing as well. Realizing what we're doing, thinking about what we're doing, and not just going through the motions, but instead planning ahead, figuring things out, and trying to make things as best for us personally as possible. Not just mindlessly going through things because some random idiot on the internet has just told you to, but how can we make things better for ourselves? That's what we do on Thinking Thursday. So we've got all the exercises. We'll go through them now. I'm getting cold, so I'm going to start moving. We're going to do everything twice. First time, we just get some experience. We get the idea of how it feels, what it feels like, how much we can move, all that kind of stuff. We set a benchmark. Then the second time we do it, we improve on it, basically. Following the basic principle that the second time is always better than the first time. After we've got some experience and after we can think about things and after we can plan things a bit more, the second time will be a little bit better. So for every single exercise we're going to do today, the three main ways that we can sort of change things for the better or worse are to change the speed, so faster or slower, change the size of the move, bigger or smaller, or change the complexity of the move, make it more complicated, lots of intricacies, or simpler. I want you to experiment with those three variables: speed, size, and complexity. And with all the exercises, experiment with those three variables and see what works for you personally. Okay, so don't forget, we're going to do everything twice, 20 seconds each bit. And I am starting to get cold now, so I am going to definitely make a start. These exercises are suitable for pretty much everybody, whether you are seated, whether you are standing, it makes no difference. You can do these exercises. So all that matters is you get stuck in, and especially on Thinking Thursday, that you plan and you think about what you're doing and how we can do it again a little bit better. First exercise. If you're seated, marching on the spot, getting your legs up like so, just moving away quite nicely. If though we're standing, we're marching on the spot while standing, marching like so. Like I said, we're going to do it 20 seconds. Have a think and do it again 20 seconds. So get yourselves ready in 3, 2, 1, off you go. Marching away. We want big leg movements wherever we can. Smaller movements tend to be easier. Big movements tend to be harder. But again, that's one of the main variables. You experiment. Find out if it's true for you. Don't just take my word for it. I'm just some idiot off the internet. Don't listen to me. Find out for yourself. So that's our first 20 seconds there. Decide how you're going to do the second round a little bit different and hopefully a little bit better, and find out whether it works for you. So change the speed, change the size, or change the complexity of the move. Now I'm getting cold, so I'm going to change the speed. I'm going to go faster, okay, just to warm me up a bit. So 3, 2, 1, off we go. Marching on the spot again. So like I said, I'm going to go a bit faster just to get some temperature in me. But you can go faster or slower, you can make it bigger or smaller, or you can simplify the move or make it more complicated, pirouettes and ballet dancing and stuff like that, whatever you want. But you give it a go and see what happens. There we go, that's our time. That's our first exercise done. So that's the format we're going to follow. Do it once, have a think, do it a second time. So our next exercise, shoulder rolls. We're going to roll our shoulders back like so, lots of shoulder movement. Of course, if you can, you're going to get your arms involved and reach up, back and down. And 20 seconds worth in 3, 2, 1, off you go. So, shoulder rolls there, or arm rolls there. I don't mind which you do, but give it a go. Assess yourself. See what works, see what doesn't work. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And have a think about how we can change it in round 2. So there we go, that's our 20 seconds. Have a think. Are we going to change the speed, change the size, or change the complexity? I'm going to change the complexity on this one, just to give an example. In 3, 2, 1, off we go. So we've been doing shoulder rolls. Now I'm going to do a backstroke. It just makes it a little bit different. I'm still doing these big shoulder rolls, still big movements, but by alternating arms, I'm just making it a little bit more complex. This is one way that we can change things and see what happens. Give things a go, try it out, and see what happens with you. Time. Knee bends are next, lower half. If you're seated, kicking your feet out like so, you're moving, you're bending, you're straightening the knees like so, using both sides obviously. If we're standing, kicking the heels back towards the bums like so, bending and straightening the knees. In 3, 2, 1, off you go. So it was Wobble Wednesday yesterday. We were talking about balance. Don't forget, shift that body weight side to side. We're bending and straightening the knees. We're getting the knee joints as mobile as possible. You assess how you were doing this. How good or bad are you at it? There's our time. Now have a think. Are you going to change the speed? Are you going to change the size of the movement or change the complexity of the movement? In 3, 2, 1, off you go. Now I'm going to do mine slower and I'm going to hold it up there for a little bit longer. So I'm changing the speed here. Now there's two things happening now. I can feel it a lot more in the back of my legs. The muscles working a lot more back there, and I'm having to balance a lot more for a longer time. So that's what happens when I change the speed. Find out what happens when you do it. So there we go. What's next? Twisting, twisty Sarahs. Seated or standing, sitting nice and tall, twisting one way and twisting the other way. In 3, 2, 1, away we go. A big twist there, and then a big twist there. Using the spine, moving the spine, but using the muscles all around the core, the belly, the sides, the back there. Keeping ourselves moving quite nicely. Nice big moves if we can. And this one I know, the bigger the move is, the better. And there's our time. Now last week I changed the size of it again by involving my arms, and the complexity by involving my arms. I'm going to do the same thing again because it worked quite well for me last time. But you have a think. Are you going to change the speed, size or complexity of this move? In 3, 2, 1, off we go. So I twisted my other arm back there. So I increased the size and the complexity of the move by adding extra bits to it. And this, I remember from last week, was very good for me. It got a good stretch along my chest as well. It helped me sit and stand tall, it helped my posture. It just changed the move into something completely different. It was really good. Double tap is next. If you're seated, the knee comes up twice. 1, 2, and then down. Same on the other side. 1, 2, and then down. If we're standing, balance time again, and knee comes up twice, and then comes up twice. In 3, 2, 1, off we go. So we're keeping our balance. We're moving our leg up and down. This first time now, again, you are thinking, assessing yourself. How are you doing? What can you do? What can't you do? What are you having trouble doing? And how are you going to change it on the second time now to either make it a bit better, make it a bit worse, but find out about your body. I'm going to make it a little bit slower this time. I'm going to change the speed in that way. I'm going to make it a slower movement. In 3, 2, 1, away we go. So I am just going to put a pause there with my knee at the top there. I'm slowing the speed down a bit. I'm still trying to make it a nice big move, but changing the speed. And that's getting my balance a lot more. It's also using the muscles in my legs a lot more. I can feel that straight away. There we go. That is our time. Hopefully, you discovered something about yourself and what you can and can't do by changing things around. Side bends. So, sitting or standing, one arm reaches down. If you can, the other arm reaches over the top. And we're bending sideways, getting as much movement out of our spine as we can. In 3, in 2, in 1, off we go. Stretching away, and a big stretch that way. Now it's quite possible some of you out there will be better on one side than the other. You will find it easier or harder to bend one way or the other. That is okay. That's kind of normal, to be honest with you. But we do whatever we can do. So we accept our limitations. We don't just define ourselves by them, but we go, okay, I am limited in some way or another, but I'm still going to try my best. That's our thought process, okay? Okay, round 2. Change the speed, change the size, change the complexity. For this one, last week I changed the speed. I went faster last week. Let's see what happens if I go slower this week. I don't know. Let's find out. In 3, 2, 1, round 2. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time down there, and I can feel a good stretch along the side there. I'm going to go overside, hold it, feel a good stretch along the side there. So if I slow things down here, if I put a pause in here, I was saying I would feel a lot more of a stretch along there when I slowed everything down. Anyway, that was our time there. Squats and sit stands. So if you are seated, time to stand up. Tuck your feet underneath you, get your body weight forwards, drive down hard through your legs. Remember, heavy feet is what we're after, okay? Heavy feet, standing tall, stretch all the way up, full extension. We don't want to stop halfway there. We're not Quasimodo or anything. Standing tall, and then we sit back and down, and then repeat as often as we can, okay? Whether it's once or whether it's 1,000 times, I don't mind, but you do the best you can. If we're standing, we're going to be doing squats, up and down like so. In 3, 2, 1, off we go. Down and up. So again, we assess ourselves. Do we feel a work in our muscles? Or do we feel pain in our knees or something like that? We don't want to feel pain. Pain is bad. Work in muscles is good. How are we going to change this move in round 2? That's our time there. Do we make it faster? Do we make it slower? Do we make it bigger? What do we do? I'm going to try and work on size of the move. I am not going to let my knees buckle in. I'm going to shove my knees out as wide as I possibly can. At the bottom here, I'm going to feel a good stretch in my inner thighs there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the moves wider. Okay? In 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm squatting down. I'm stretching my knees out as wide as they'll go. I am getting a good stretch on the inner thighs there. Now, straight away, what I feel here is I feel stretch on the inner thighs, but I also feel the muscles in my bum working a hell of a lot more straight away just by pushing those knees out far. And then time. So give these things a try. Have a think about what you're going to do, what you're going to change. Experiment with the moves. Find out what works for you. Okay. Tightrope and ankles. If you're seated, going to bend and straighten your ankles. Heel, toe on the floor. And of course, same thing on the other side. Heel, toe. And if you're standing, tightrope walking time. Imagine you have that tightrope, that line painted on the floor there. Feet wide is easier. Feet narrow is harder. But with me, you're going to walk along that tightrope on the floor. Off you go. Heel, toe. We are challenging our balance. We're walking away nicely. Making life difficult for ourselves. Swaying, yes. Wobbling, yes. Falling over, no. So now, same thing. Going backwards. Toes, heels. Again, a good solid balance. Keeping our balance the whole time. Nicely done. So what are you going to do differently on this second time now? Are you going to make it easier? Are you going to make it a faster, slower move? Are you going to make it a bigger or smaller move? Are you going to make it more complicated? I think I'm going to make it a little bit more complicated. And by that, I mean I'm going to hold a heavy weight on one side. This is going to pull me off balance. My center of gravity is now going to be completely different from what it was last time. I'm going to make things complicated by shifting my weight to one side, by holding a heavy weight there. I'm going to see what happens. 3, 2, 1, off we go. Walking away nicely. Heel, toe. So I am being pulled that way by this weight. So I am having to really compensate and recenter myself back over that way again. There we go. And now, last time, going backwards. Toes, heels, toes, heels. Yes, I am definitely being pulled out of shape by this weight. It is pulling me out of shape, and I'm having to work my body in lots of different ways. It now feels completely different just because I'm holding this heavy weight here. There we go. So that is an experiment. I had no idea what was going to happen then, but it was worth a try. I made it a bit more complicated by adding a confounding factor. That weight pulling me off balance. I like it. It's good. Makes life interesting. Okay, fast feet. Bear with me. Changing my timer down to 10 seconds. So 2 rounds of 10 seconds of fast feet. People who are seated, don't forget, quick movements, small movements. Running on the spot like so, just drumming feet up and down like that. If we're standing, same idea, but standing, running on the spot. Nice and quick like so. This is all about speed, so you're going to experiment. How can you make things quicker? Okay. Round 1, 10 seconds. Let's see how we go. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Nice quick footwork. Running up and down. Whoops. Okay. Round 1 done. Now, obviously we're going to change the speed by going faster. Goes without saying. Can we change the size of the movement? Try it. Try a bigger step or a smaller step. See what happens. I have a sneaking suspicion I know a small step will be better. But try a big step, see what happens. Or more complicated. Last time I moved my feet in and out. And actually I remember that worked quite well for me. I'm going to try that again. I'm going to make it more complicated by moving my feet in and out. See what happens. In 3, 2, 1. Off we go. So I move my feet in and out, nice and quick, but moving them in and out. There we go. Proper little dancer. That's what they called me in school. Little tiny dancer. So that worked quite well for me. That foot in and out, I like that. That made me feel a lot more stable. Really good. Experiment and find out what works for you, okay? Okay, last bit. Whoops. Change my timer again. 20 seconds. Here we go. 3 rounds to finish off now. Shadowboxing. Punching. The whole point now is to get out of breath. So if you are seated, fists up, punching away high, punching low, punching around, and getting your heart rate going. 3 rounds. If we're standing, same thing. Punching away, okay? In 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Punching nicely. Getting the arms going. Remember, picture the target in front of you. Catch that target. Nice and high, nice and low, nice and around if you want. But there we go. But keep yourself going. Round 1 done. Okay, have a think. How can you get even more out of breath? Bigger moves, faster moves, more complicated moves. Give something a try in 3, 2, 1, go. So, away we go. Punching and breathing. Whew. Snotty nose. But we keep going. Footwork if we can. And huffing and puffing and time. And guess what? 1 final round. 20 seconds is all we got left. So put it all out there now. Give it your best shot. In 3, in 2, in 1. Away we go. Last go. 20 seconds. That's it. That's better punches from me. I did a bad punch there, but they're much better now. So punching away, breathing, and time. Nicely done. That is our Thinking Thursday. A whole bunch of moves, whole bunch of simple but very effective exercises that, fingers crossed, have got all, hopefully, your body moving, from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers and everything in between, hopefully. So that's Thinking Thursday. Thinking Thursdays, or thinking, is important because none of us should just be a passenger in this life of ours. We should be in control. We should be in the driver's seat. Take control. Don't just accept things as they are. Make things as we want them to be. We do our best we can. Think about what your strengths and weaknesses are. Plan how you can make them better. Simple as that. So last thing, it's Thinking Thursday, so thought for the day. Last thing I've written down here. Something to think about. Why do we do this stuff? Why do we do this exercise? Why do we keep going? Why do we do this? What's the point? I was thinking there's 3 main practical reasons why we can do this. We can do these stuff to improve. So if we want to increase the strength of our body, improve the balance, improve our fitness, we can do these things to improve our physical ability. Another very good reason is to maintain it. If we can't improve it, if there is something where we can't improve it, we can try and maintain it if we can. That is a real important thing. To try and minimize a decline, maintain, hold on to as much strength, fitness, ability, mobility as we possibly can. That is a really good reason why we do this stuff, to maintain what we've got, to hold on to what we've got. And the third reason I thought was, if we cannot even maintain what we've got, if we have a degenerative condition and things are going to gradually get worse, we can manage other issues. So if we are going to lose mobility over time, and to be honest, all of us are, over the long term, we are going to lose mobility, but we can manage other conditions. We can manage other parts of our body. If we're losing movement in our lower half, we can still maintain and improve our upper half. We can still improve, we can manage our heart and lungs, we can improve or maintain and manage our circulatory system, our blood. We can manage the rest of our body, which means that life will be easier and better than the alternative. So that's 3 big reasons why I think we do this stuff. Now, everyone's going to have their own reason. If you want, in the comments below, pop down why you do it. I think it's always good to share. I was having this chat with somebody a while back. What's the point of this? I think it is always good to remember and remind each other why we do this. So yeah, if you want, they're my reasons. If you want, in the comments below, pop down yours. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow. That's your thinking thoughts for the Thursday, that is. But I will see you tomorrow. It is Fitness Friday tomorrow. We're going to work on heart and lungs, get your fitness going, get you out of breath, and work you nice and hard. So I think that's all I've got to say. So in the meantime, thank you very much, boys and girls. I will see you tomorrow, Fitness Friday. Bye-bye.